Item number SCP-6320. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-6320 is currently contained within a 19 by 19 meter chamber built around it, located on the lowermost floor of Research Site 107. Individuals entering SCP-6320's containment chamber are to do so in standard protective attire. The chamber must be thoroughly cleaned once, twice daily, and no loose material left within 16 meters, 25 meters, 30 meters of SCP-6320. Note: containment procedures pending revision following Incident 6320-A. Description: SCP-6320 is an extra-dimensional rift in a stone wall at the bottom of a disused copper mine in Nevada. Appearing in the shape of a mineral deposit vein, the anomaly has been described as resembling a tear into outer space, with the interior even exhibiting a parallax effect. However, SCP-6320's behavior as a flat surface suggests this apparent depth is a visual illusion. Any loose particulate matter, such as dirt, crumbs, dust, etc., or freestanding liquids left within a 16-meter radius of SCP-6320 gradually rearrange into a copy of SCP-6320's shape before disappearing completely. Additionally, any object or creature that comes into direct physical contact with SCP-6320 immediately disappears as well. Recording equipment that has vanished after touching the anomaly produces no footage. Addendum: Site 107 is currently in the first phase of expansion. Construction will incorporate present mining structures into the new building. Phase 2 will oversee construction of new containment areas to house additional anomalies, extra-dimensional in nature. Phase 2 cancelled due to lack of available personnel. From M. Carson at scp.net to P. Hayes at scp.net. Date 7/5/19. Subject 107 Expansion. While I understand the decision to cancel 107's expansion, I would like to remind everyone that our current safety procedures in regards to dimensional anomalies are woefully out of date. The last extensive study that I can find into recovery of objects and creatures from extra-dimensional spaces is dated 1989. I believe emphasis on updating safety protocol in this area would highly benefit the Foundation as a whole, considering our volume of dimensional anomalies and the extensive danger they pose. The fewer people we lose, the more we have at our disposal. Dr. M. Carson. Addendum 2. After anomalous movement was observed in a coffee spill roughly 4 meters outside SCP-6320's previously documented area of effect, a temporary perimeter has been established by containment personnel and will be monitored for additional activity. On-site personnel are strongly advised to keep workspaces as clean and free of debris as possible, despite being outside the recorded area of effect. From M. Carson at scp.net to P. Hayes at scp.net. Date 7/21/19. Subject 107 Expansion. I want to make it clear that I have no issue with the eventual decommissioning of 107. Following the decision to halt expansion, downsizing is the clear choice. SCP-6320 has shown no outstanding potential for danger thus far, and doesn't warrant a 200-man crew, especially given how chronically short-staffed we've been lately. My staff could potentially be utilized elsewhere, but this brings me to my current issue. I want to keep my staff, at least for another year or two. SCP-6320 is an ideal candidate for development of the safety measures I mentioned to you previously. Aside from the recent slight expanding of its effect radius, SCP-6320 seems entirely predictable and measurable in its effects. The same cannot be said of most extra-dimensional anomalies. Updated safety precautions will save us manpower in the long run. We should seize the opportunity for this pursuit while people are still here. Frankly, I think it'd be foolish not to. Dr. M. Carson. Addendum 3. cleaning regimen of SCP-6320's chamber has been altered following a series of small tremors felt in the lower floors of the facility near the anomaly. The chamber is to be cleaned twice daily, increased from once. No other changes are deemed necessary at this time. From M. Carson at scp.net to P. Hayes at scp.net. Date 8/28/19. Subject 107 Expansion. I'm going to be blunt. You're making a mistake. We've nearly 200 qualified people on site with what seems to be one of the least volatile dimensional anomalies we currently have in containment. We have very little to risk and very much to gain. Our safety measures with these things are so outdated that another catastrophe as bad as expunged is basically inevitable at this point. I know my staff could be useful elsewhere, but they could be equally as useful here. Right now, I only want 1 year. 1 year, and we could save potentially thousands of lives in the event of another disaster. The Foundation wouldn't have a staff shortage in the first place if we put more effort into the safety of our personnel. We do what we do for the safety of humanity. You forget our people are human. I strongly advise you to reconsider. Dr. M. Carson. Incident Log 6320A. Log Date 6 September 2019, 1:26 p.m. Note: the following log was taken from a telephone call between Dr. Corbin, a researcher at Site 107, and MTF Alpha 4 Dispatch, Nevada. Begin log. Alpha 4 Dispatch. Hi, I know this isn't your department at all, but I really didn't know who else to call. This is one of the only phone numbers I had. I need immediate help with a situation, emergency kind of situation, maybe. What's the situation? I'm working at Site 107 out in with SCP-6320. I got in late today and I can't find the door. The door? The door? I can't find the front doors of the site. The parking lot's here, the checkpoints and everything, but the front doors they're just gone. I don't know what's happening. I can't get a hold of anyone. Nobody's answering their phones. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble parsing what you're... The site is not here. What do you mean? There's an old mine shaft entrance where the front of the building used to be. There's nothing here. It's totally empty inside. It's just gone. The entire site is gone. I'm gonna try to find someone who can help you. Addendum 4. Containment procedures are pending revision following the disappearance of Site 107. SCP-6320's description and location within the shaft remain unchanged. Pending reclassification to Keter, recovery efforts are currently on hold due to lack of available personnel.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you like what you hear, head over to my Patreon at patreon.com/Kelsey Narrates and help support me by becoming a patron for as little as $3 a month. I'm not going to get rich doing this, but it does take money to keep a podcast running. All patrons get early access to every episode I publish. I don't have the talent it takes to write a skip. All I do is read. Original authors make this podcast possible, so credit to the original author. Their links in the description. Show them some love as well. Consider becoming a member of the SCP Wiki, upvote their work, and maybe write a skip of your own. Maybe I'll read it here someday. You never know if you never try. The content of this podcast and content relating to the SCP Foundation, including the SCP Foundation logo, is licensed under Creative Commons Sharealike 3.0, and all concepts originate from scpwiki.com and its authors. This recording, being derived from this content, is hereby also released under Creative Commons Sharealike 3.0.